So we want the volume of Noah's Ark, and I know that Noah's Ark is not a box, but essentially that's the best I can go with because that's all they gave me in terms of what I read in Genesis 6:15. It's 300 cubits long, 50 cubits wide, and 30 cubits tall. I'm going with a cubit being a long cubit as opposed to the regular short cubit, just because I don't know. I don't necessarily know which cubit they used. And I'm thinking if you're building a boat, you're going to go with the long one. So let's see, especially if you're fitting all the animals inside of there. So we'll go with 300 cubits. You know what we'll do is we're going to convert this to a volume first. And the volume is basically length times width times height. And so you have 300 times 50 times 30. And that would be 300 times 50 times 30. And that's 45 or 450,000. So 4.5 times 10 to the 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourth power. No, wait. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth power. Cubits cubed. 450,000 cubic cubits. Okay. Which is a weird unit, but essentially, yeah, it's called a cubit, and it's 3 of them, so I'm multiplying 3 of them together, so I've got cubed there. All right, so I'm going with 4.5 times 10 to the 5th power, and what I'm going to assume here is that I know that I should kill this thing down to 1 sig fig, because they only gave me 1 sig figs here, but I'm going to do that at the very end. So 4.5 times 10 to the 5th power cubic cubes, or cubits cubed. And I want to say that, all right, 1 cubit is equal to 20.54, or 20.4. So 20.4 inches. Now, as far as units go, see, usually I say, okay, look, the cubits here cancel out with the cubits here, but that's not the case over here. There's 3 cubits on top, and there's only 1 of them on the bottom. And so I could say that one of these will cancel out with this, and making that cu to the 3rd power, it would make it to cu to the 2nd power. So I would have to do this again. So I go 20.4 inches and a cubic on the bottom, or cubit on the bottom, and then this will cancel out with that. And then I want cubits to cancel out completely, so I need to do it one more time. There we go. And I'm left with inches times inches times inches. That would be cubic inches. So let's see, 4.5, or you know, 450,000 times 20.4 times 20.4 times 20.4. All right, we're left with 3820348800. I know that's a huge number and way too many sig figs, but I'm not going to crunch down the sig figs until I'm done with the calculation. And at the very end, then I will consider kill all the sig figs and only go with one of them. The reason why that changes is because you don't want to change things in the middle of the thing, because that will slowly propagate that estimation throughout the rest of your calculation. You just want to do it at the end. All right, and this is cubic inches, but I think that the thing is I asked for this in cubic centimeters, or cubic meters. So I need to turn this inches into cubic centimeters, or, well, cubic meters. The way I do that is I can say, all right, I know that 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. And I'm going to run into another one of these problems where I have a cubed on top over here. And so I'm going to need to do this 3 times. Now, instead of writing it out 3 times like I did above, I'm just going to put a 3rd power there. And that basically means repeat this thing 3 times. And then that cubic inches will now cancel out with this cubic inches, and I'll get cubic centimeters. And I have to do one more thing, and I have to convert 100 centimeters is equal to 1 meter. And I need to do it 3 times as well. So I'm going to take this number, multiply him by 2.54, by another 2.54 and one more 2.54, and then divide it by 100 3 times. So that would be 1 with 6 zeros after it. So 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, here we go. 62604 meters cubed. Now I don't need to or what I want to do is I don't need to write down all these numbers because I want to kill down to 1 sig fig. And so I would say the answer is 60,000 cubic meters. That would be 6 times 10 to the 4th power meters cubed. And that would be my answer. Big boat. Okay. There is 60,000 cubic meters, and so now what I want to do is I want to figure out, well, if the whole boat, say, were flooded with water, how much would it weigh? How much would that water weigh? Let's assume that we replace the volume of that boat with a, fish tank of water that size. How much would that weigh? I know that the density of water is 1 gram per 1 centimeter cubed. The density is mass over volume. And so if I want to figure out the mass, I just simply multiply both sides by V. So I need to basically multiply my volume times my density, and I'll get my mass. I'm not going to multiply it by 6 times 10 to the 4th because I'm given that the density of water is 1 gram per centimeter cubed. So either I'm going to need to do two things. I'm going to need to do one of two things. I'm going to need to convert this to centimeters cubed and then multiply it by 1. Or what I can do is I can take my density calculation and then convert that to meters cubed and then multiply that by this volume over here. I think, to be honest with you, the easiest version would be to take this and change it. So let's try that. 1 gram per centimeter cubed. And I know to convert that, I want to go that there's 100 centimeters for every 1 meter, but I need to do that 3 times. So I'm looking at 1 with 6 zeros. 1 times 10 to the 6th power centimeters. Grams, because the centimeters cubed cancels out with the centimeters cubed, so that would be grams per meter cubed. So it's 1,000,000 grams per meter cubed, and I have 60,000 meters cubed. So I basically multiply this density now times this volume over here, times 10 to the 4th meters cubed. Let's see, meters cubed cancels out with meters cubed, and essentially all I got to do is, this is what makes scientific notation nice, is let's deal with the numbers. Multiply 6 times 1, that's just 6. And now let's deal with exponents. Times 10 to the 6 plus 4 is 10th power. And that's how many grams? That, my friends, is a lot of grams. That would be, what, 60 billion grams? Which, let's see, if I want to go kilograms, then I would basically just say, oh, well, that's 6 times 10 to the 7th kilograms. Still a lot. Very heavy. Super heavy arc.